Before we get going here, does everybody have their slips turned in that want to talk on a specific agenda item? Okay, all right. I call this Sawyer County Public Safety Meeting to order. Lynn, can we have roll call, please?
Ron Buckholz.
Here.
Ed Peters. Ed is
Here.
virtual. Mark Helwig. Mark is virtual. Jason Weaver. Marshall Savitsky.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Okay, number 3, Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so, certification of compliance with open meetings law, Madam Clerk.
This meeting has been noticed to the public and news media as required by section 19.84 of the Wisconsin statutes.
Okay, number 5, the meeting agenda has been presented and I accept it. Number 6, public comment. We have one public comment. Linda, state your name and address. You got 3 minutes.
Linda Zilmer, resident of the Village of Birchwood, Edgewater property owner. And I wanted to speak this morning regarding the county-wide ambulance service. Over the period of the last couple months, and sometimes even the discussion has gone back further, it has been the focus on the dollars collected for ambulance runs and how the county might make more money doing transfers and maybe discontinuing the Stone Lake location. And as a countywide ambulance service, I think the focus should be more on providing that emergency service response in the amount of time it takes to respond based on the locations and the people you have available. And so rather than focus so much on the revenues, I would like to ask the ambulance director in this committee to work on developing staffing at locations that serve the whole county and maybe less to focus on the dollars. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Linda. We have any hands up for public comment, Lynn? Okay. All right. Anybody else out there want to speak on public comment? No? Okay. Number 7, approval of the previous meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion for those minutes.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second. Ed Peters.
Okay, we have a motion by Mr. Savitsky and a second by Mr. Peters to approve the public safety previous minutes. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Number 8, judge's report.
Thank you. Not much to report since the last meeting, other than we have moved towards on our recovery court. Tomorrow is going to be our first dress rehearsal as far as going through everything. And the whole team will be gathering and it'll be kind of a mock, just kind of get everybody's feet wet as to where they be, what their role is in both the team meeting and in the actual recovery court. Both Judge Isham and myself will be participating in that. And I know that through the DA's office and there have been several approvals. They haven't actually gone to plea and sentencing yet to officially be entered into the drug court, but we've got several individuals already that have been that are qualified, meaning that they have met the criteria for a drug court. And so we should I believe that we're going to actually get those done sometime this month, and we're hoping to have an actual recovery court first actual meeting with the participants before the end of the month. And I guess other than that, there's not too much to report. That's the big news that's happening right now.
Okay. All right. Any questions for the judge? Mr. Peters, Mr. Hellwig.
Thank you very much for your report, sir.
Mr. Weaver's just signing in as well.
Who?
Mr. Weaver?
Oh, okay, good. All right. Thank you, Judge. Courthouse remodel update. Andy?
Pretty much in the same position we were last month. As far as the remodel, we have 2 items left. Flooring, they'll be back this month to try to redo the flooring in the corridor out here or in the entrance area that they've tried already once to improve it. And then the HVAC system in the new building, which does tie into the older building, is still not running appropriately. They're going to be here again this week to try to get it fully functional. We had the boiler go down again over the weekend, and it's not balanced when it is running. So there's still work to be done to get that operating the way it's supposed to be. But those are the only 2 items we have left on the punch list for completion of the project.
Oh, that's good. Get it done now, huh?
Been a work in progress, especially with the HVAC. It's
Okay.
concerning.
All right. All right, any questions for Andy?
Mr. Buckholz, just letting you know that it looks like Mr. Hellwig's having transmission issues. He's trying to sign in again and again, so he
Okay.
must be having issues.
All right. Okay, number 9. Clerk of Courts Office Report, Marge?
We just, if you have questions on my report, just to let you know, we're still plugging away, hoping to get the part-time position filled to help offset some of the caseload with the probate that we've taken on. Does anybody have any questions on my written report?
Nobody applying for them jobs or what?
No, we did have an interview. However, at the interview, we were informed by the person that she couldn't take the job because has no place to live here.
Okay.
So.
All right, all right, any questions for Marge? Mr. Weaver, any questions?
No.
Mr. Hellwig? Mr. Peters?
No questions. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right, number 10, Sheriff's Department report. Sheriff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll start off, want to acknowledge Deputy Dennis Nelson has had a canine partner, Oscar, for the last 7 years, and Oscar is being retired. Dennis is going to go on to training with a new canine, so we look forward to him getting through the training and joining us again with this new canine. I would also like, if possible, that put on the agenda for the county board so we can acknowledge Oscar as well with the full county board.
Yep, okay, can you get a hold of Tweed and get that on there, Andy? Okay, is that all you have, Sheriff?
Yep.
Okay, all right. All right, number 8, patrol report, Lieutenant?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You can see by our call volume report, it has declined again for the month of December to 602. The trend shows from the last 2 months, 711 and 763. So we're in a constant downturn, mainly due probably to some of the lack of snow in our area. Not brought a lot of vacationers up to our area quite yet. There's also a decrease from where we were at last year at this time, where we had 913 calls. In December of 2023, we had 30 citations for traffic offenses, 1 written warning, and 20 non-traffic citations. And per community maps, there were 13 total crashes, 2 with personal injury, and 1 fatality that came in last month for the time period, bringing our total crashes to date to 299, 77 personal injury, and 5 fatalities. So we're pretty on course, a little bit down, but fatality-wise, we're on course for where we're at last year. And as related to that, we've seen fewer crashes the holiday season and some of the lowest numbers of crashes for the last several years. We also congratulate Deputy Paige Waller, who recently graduated from the Northwest Technical College Law Enforcement Academy. She has started her patrol field training track and is currently in her 3rd week of training. And with the end of the year, we'd also like to offer thanks to all the community support that's been given to our patrol officers, the office in whole, and they are the reason for our service. That's my report.
All right, thank you, Lieutenant. Any questions for the lieutenant on his patrol report? Mr. Weaver, Mr. Helwig,
No
and Mr. Peters.
No questions. Thank you.
No questions. Great. Thank you, Lieutenant. Number B, jail report.
Our average daily population for December was 67.75, compared to 88.73 for last year, which is down considerably. We're housing 25.25 females and 42.25 males. Our average probation incarceration is 17.5. Average pre-sentence incarceration is 32, and our average sentence incarceration is 18.25. We currently have 5 inmates on electronic monitor and 1 working Huber.
Okay. All right, any questions for Chief Deputy on the jail report? Okay, if not.
Just a comment, looks like the unemployment rate for the inmates is down a little bit from previous reports.
This is true. And I think that has a lot to do with the average daily population.
Thank you.
Okay, good. All right, any more questions for the Chief Deputy?
No, sir.
All right. Number C, Communication System Specialist Report. Is he on there?
No, maybe the sheriff wants to. Okay, yeah, as I think we talked about last month, we've ended we did not renew the contract with the former communication specialist, and we've met with, what to say, that we're going to be moving ahead with GenCom, and are working on putting in a service contract to maintain our system, as well as having them assess where we're at and what we probably need to do to improve the system we currently have. So we'll be switching over to, well, we have switched over to them. If we have any issues now going ahead, they'll be who we call.
Okay. Any questions on that?
No, sir. Nope.
All right, thank you. Number D, Code Enforcement Specialist, Brandon.
Thank you, sir. On the animal control side of things, the kennel attendant position has finally been filled. Ms. Chapman has been hard at work, learning everything involved with it, namely handling licensing, taking phone calls. Training is continuing. Now we're getting into focusing on the animal control software that we have set up so she can add in animals, owners, incidents, and all of that. Revenue for licensing in November was expectedly low. 2023 license sales were turned off on November 15th, and most license orders that we did receive in November were held on to until the 2024 licensing period started as a courtesy, instead of making people pay for it at beginning of November, then pay again 2 weeks later. Admissions were way down in November, and as of writing the report and now, it was also way down in December. Seeing a lot less dogs coming in comparatively to earlier months. Same applies to calls placed to animal control. There are going to be a few gaps just due to off time and holidays during November and December. The gaps in general should be lessened as the kennel attendant learns the management software, able to track calls when I'm not around. Makes it a little easier on that front. The 2024 licensing period started on December 1st. Online orders have been very strong. Town of Hayward no longer sells licenses at the town hall. They were a fairly large seller. They usually got 200 tags sold, near that many. So we're trying to track if that has any big effect. We have people that don't show up to get it from us that we're going there. On the code enforcement side of things, no updates. Things have just been going smooth there.
Okay. Is there any questions for Brandon?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, number E, ordinance update.
Yeah, I'm going to email I'll email that out to the committee. I just got a draft back yesterday.
Okay.
So we won't
Okay.
discuss it this month to give you time to review it.
Okay. All right. Number 11, out of county car use update, discussion and possible action. Now I have some public comments here, public hearing appearance slips. And you guys tell the committee what you want in 3 minutes, or ain't that enough?
Probably not. Love speed. Ones that want.
I'm gonna do that so we can get this thing out of the way. So the first one I got, and she doesn't want to speak, is Amanda Reed. She's just here for support, right? Okay. Then the next one I have is Jeremy Anderson. Okay, step forward, state your name and your address, please.
Well, thank you for your time. My name is Deputy Jeremy Anderson. I'm a patrol deputy here with Sawyer County. I do live out of county. I live in Rice Lake. The purpose behind me applying here to Sawyer County, I started back in April. I applied back in December, was the reputation that Sawyer County Sheriff's Office had attained. I found that they were more closely to be a family once upon starting. With that is I have a long journey. I am 14 minutes or 14 miles as a crow flies and 20-minute drive. With that, I am very close to Highway 48 and have noticed that I have to increasingly, as the weather changes, arrive to work even earlier, start my squad up, function check my emergency equipment, make sure there's no damages to my squad car. My squad car remains parked at my family's cabins, which also has people that are living year-round in the area. It is monitored, however, there's still always a concern for the safety of the squad car. When I go to check on if it was going to be damaged or not, or even drivable. These are some of the concerns that I've had upon starting here, and I've heard from the public numerous times that they believe the car should go home with the deputy. There is no better way for security other than to lock the vehicles up. But I believe that if the vehicle is with the deputy, it's going to be even more maintained and it's going to be more secure, thus saving us potential financial issues in the future. That's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. All right, next one is Charlie Logan.
Good morning, everybody. I want to thank you for taking the time to listen to what we have to say. My name is Charlie Logan. As stated, I'm a deputy for Sawyer County. I live within Sawyer County. I am also currently the commander for the SWAT team for this county. I'm here to express my support for the take-home squads out of county for a lot of reasons, some of which I'll let the other deputies explain too. But as far as my support of it for the SWAT team, obviously, you know, a lot of the incidents that we respond to are emergent situations and very volatile. And the sooner we can get our personnel and equipment to those scenes, the safer and better it's going to be for everybody. Within the last few years, I know of at least 3 that I can think of incidents that we've been called to that, you know, when you're off duty, you don't have your equipment. Our deputies have had to drive past the incident to come get their squad cars and then go back, which causes, you know, quite a bit of lag time also. We carry quite a bit of gear and personal gear and stuff in our squads that without that, we can't do the job when we're called to do it. So it creates more lag time, and the sooner we can get all of our personnel equipped and to the scene, it's a lot better. So I think it would be a good thing just to be able to have that personnel to respond quicker to wherever that incident may be. And I know there's several people on this team that have squads that they have to park somewhere, not at their house. They don't live in this county. I think it would be a benefit, at least to the team, along with a lot of other reasons, but I'm here to speak for that end of it. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, next is Ian or Ian Hall?
Ian Hall, thank you.
Okay.
I'm Ian Hall. I'm a sergeant for the Patrol County, or for the Sawyer County Sheriff's Office. I've been here for 10 years. Started my career 11 years ago in Barron County. I left Barron County with a full-time offer to come to Sawyer County at 35 years old for $8 an hour to field train. It's a lot of sacrifice with 2 kids in school and, no housing available at that time to move here. So I do park my county or my squad in the county, but I live outside the county. I'm a team leader on the SWAT team. Been a sergeant for 4 years. So I believe, response time is critical. Been in a lot of situations with these guys that sometimes I'm first on scene, even though I live out of the county. So I believe that's, critical. It's a lot of sacrifice, the weight of this job on us. And I put this uniform on and the badge just like everybody else in the county. I'm a Sawyer County deputy. That's how I am at the end of the day and when I go home. So I carry all that with me when I go home, same as everybody else that lives in the county. I believe in response time. I took an oath to serve this community. I've gone above and beyond for this community for 10 years. I plan on making it a career 20 years here or more. But, outside agencies are allowing it and they're reaching out to us. So for the past 5 years, I've had 3 outside agencies and recently requesting that I apply for them, offering what we don't have here as out of county employees. I just always think the pride in this job and the sacrifice that we do. I think of Dan Glaze. He laid his life down for a community that he did not live in. So I would do the same, and I know most of these guys would do it too without hesitation. So for everybody here. So that's all I
I have a
have.
question for you.
Yes.
Are they offering you these other counties to take your squad home if you apply with them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That's 3 agencies that have offered it. And 2 of them pay more. But I turned 1 down because it's not about the money. Like I said, I came here for $8 an hour. So.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, next one is Casey. Okay, thank you.
Casey Colleen, been with the sheriff's office since 2012. I'm also part of the SWAT team. I've reached out to all union members within our agency, and there's an overwhelming support for this measure. 19 of 22 support this and would not have any issues for this. Our other night shift sergeant provided a letter that I would leave for anybody else who's willing to read it and is interested. The biggest thing is response time. And, if I have to come to Sawyer County in a normal and non-emergent mode, that takes time. That could be critical at some point. So yeah, that's the biggest thing would be response time, and it would decrease that for Sawyer County residents.
Yeah.
And that's all I have.
Sheriff, when these out-of-county deputies check in for service and out of service, do they do that at the county line or they do that when they get at their residence? Do you know?
The out-of-county deputies,
Yes.
they check on when they reach their squad.
Okay.
Several of them park their squad at the sheriff's office, and several of them park them in the southern end of the county at a residence there.
Okay, all right. All right, my next one is Dennis Nelson.
Hello, Dennis Nelson. I just want to say thank you for listening to all of us. I'm here to support the out-of-county take-home cars. I've been with the sheriff's office for 15 years full-time. The equality thing had been brought up in the last meeting. Like Casey Culhane just said, he talked to all the guys in our union about take-home cars, and majority is supporting that. I've had the same benefit for the last 15 years. I look at it as I am not losing anything. They're gaining the same thing that I've had for the last 15 years. They've talked about response time. I'm also a team leader on the SWAT team. And the issues that we're seeing with the take-home cars that are not going to out-of-county guys, 4 of them are on the SWAT team. So if there's an emergent call, they're unable to respond emergently like I am. They're driving their personal car all the way to the county to get that car. So that's the response time they're talking about. Like Ian Hall had talked about, retention is kind of a big thing for me, and I believe this is why it's important. I personally have been reached out by another county to apply for them. I live in Sawyer County, but I would get a take-home car from that county. Obviously, I turned it down. I'm here to stay. But when you're looking at surrounding counties, Barron County just changed it to a take-home car. They're paying almost $7 an hour more than we are. Washburn County's take-home cars are paying almost $2 more than us. Right now, it's extremely competitive to get a job for an agency. I mean, if you look at dispatch and jail in the recent time, it's hard to get candidates. And to me, this is trying to keep what we have. Everyone that's talked already has got 10 years of experience in specialty spots. I think it's important to be progressive and start making some policy changes to try to keep people that are already here, because we've already invested into them. So with that, I say thank you for guys looking at this.
Okay, thank you. All right, next one is Kevin Hagman.
Sir. I'm Kevin Hagman. I live in Minong. Just want to take a second, say thank you for taking the opportunity to listen to us here. One of the things that I wanted to touch on was the experience. I've been working in Sawyer County for 3 years now. I moved up from Eau Claire. Excuse me. And just the experience of trying to move here, quite frankly, it was a nightmare for me and my young family. When we first got up here, we bounced around to 5 different houses in a year. We put offers in on 6 different houses. Every offer was $10,000 to $15,000 over asking, and we lost every one of them. It got to the point where I told my wife, who works for the Hayward Area High School, if we weren't able to secure housing within the next 2 weeks, we were going to just return to Eau Claire. Obviously, that conversation has been had here at the board meetings about the housing issues. I just wanted to reaffirm as a young family just how much difficulty we suffered trying to make this work. I've got the utmost respect for my admin in this agency, and I'm happy to have been able to stay. I'm also a member of the SWAT team. I'm an entry member, and one of the experiences I had for a call this year was having to show up to the call maybe 50 yards down the road because it took me so long to get there, getting a quick brief from my team leaders and kind of just making it work on the fly. So having that response time is critical for us. Obviously I'll serve in that capacity if I must, but certainly getting a brief on what we're going through would have been advantageous for me at that point. Just a touch on retention. I know it's kind of been talked about, but starting from the outside in law enforcement, I don't think we can really weigh the importance of having high quality law enforcement in our area, especially given the unique cultural circumstances that we have here in Sawyer County. I think that we really need to highlight that. The sheriff mentioned the other day that six members of our sheriff's office are here from out of county. They must be doing something right. This county has got a lot of very senior officers here, and I think that speaks volumes about the quality of law enforcement. And I think, like I said, with this retention, we don't want to see these guys leaving. We don't want to lose guys like Ian, who has 10 years here, Casey, who's a sniper on our team. I mean, we can go all day long about retention and just the quality of law enforcement that I see here. It should not be underestimated how damaging it could be to this agency to lose those guys. My final note I'll make here is just, obviously this is a money issue. Obviously there's a lot of conversation to be had here. One of the concerns I saw from your previous meetings was wanting to see some sort of commitment from us, something. I can't speak for these other people, but certainly if this benefit goes through for us, I could say that I wouldn't be going anywhere. I think that it means a lot to me as a member of this office, and I would be willing to give that commitment to stay. I've also been seeing applications come and go. I've been talking to other agencies for those benefits. So that's my piece.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
To start off, I want to thank all you ladies and gentlemen for what you do for Sawyer County. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate listening to you. My question to you guys is, would you be willing to take your squad home and after the county line, pay mileage back to the county?
Yes, that's something we've.
Yes, you could come right up and speak, sir.
That's something we've discussed in the past when this issue's come up. We've talked about, we'd be willing to pay something for mileage.
So if we set the mileage at what the county pays right now at 52.5 cents a mile, that's what it is, ain't it, Lynn? I think it is.
Yeah, it's, I'm just doing some, the IRS rate just from the first of the year, so it's.
Well, I would be happy if they would, for the 52.5 cents per mile. Because I can understand, I feel for you guys, and I understand that we can't get deputies in our area. And I really appreciate you guys coming from out of county to come to Sawyer County and working for us. So you guys would be okay with if we did that?
I believe most everybody's on board with that.
Sheriff,
Yes.
we have a comment from you, please?
Well, we had some good discussion in our last meeting several months ago. We have, our administrative team has met with these deputies as a group as well as individually. Some added excellent discussion. I think the big thing that is paramount here is we are in changing times. It's a very competitive market out there for staff. And Rusk and Washburn County to the south and west of us has had this in place for years. And now Burnett and Barron have added. So that's even making the market more competitive. So I do think in these changing times, we do need to look at opportunities of change.
Okay. Andy, you got any comment on that?
No, I think we had lengthy discussions about this issue, and it is in part a retention issue because we have other counties that are doing it. Beyond that, I think the discussion about mileage and cost is important to be upfront about and be transparent because it will have a financial impact on the sheriff's department budget from the additional mileage that we would incur. But I think we've talked about that as well. But I mean, we've looked at all the other aspects as far as insurance and or workers' comp and liability and all those things, and we can work with all of those. There's nothing impeding us from allowing the squads to go home out of county.
Okay.
Andy?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, guys. I've been having a lot of technical difficulties here. Could you just do a real quick description as to what we're talking about approving?
Right now, we're talking about the out of county deputies taking their squads home. They all gave a nice presentation.
Yep.
And now I asked if they would be willing to pay mileage from the county line to their residents. And I've got great response that they would. And that's where we're at right now, Mark.
Thank you.
Ms. Hessel.
Did anybody else that's on the committee speak? I just want to make sure.
That's, I'm getting that.
Stacy Hessel, I'm speaking as a supervisor. Just wondering if all the other counties, do they charge their deputies to take home the vehicles? Like the counties that you referenced in their plan, do they charge mileage?
Question.
I can't comment accurately on that. I know some of them have a 15-mile restriction. Some have a 20, 25. If they limit it up to the 15 and then charge after that, or what they do. I know quite a few of our surrounding counties do not charge up to the 15 miles.
And that's what I would encourage. Otherwise, it's not a benefit. We're actually reducing their pay. So I would just encourage you to keep that in mind that, if you're looking at the liability, the insurance already said it would be a bonus to have the response time. I just want to make sure that it's equal because they're already going to be paying the $3 IRS fee a day to take home the vehicle. So anything above and beyond that would be not fair in my opinion. But thank you.
Okay.
I
Committee,
just want to let you know, I agree with Stacy on that. Thank you.
Ron.
go ahead.
Yeah, last time we met the special meeting, that question was brought up about if other counties charge their deputies for taking their squads out of the county. And if we still don't know, I don't think that we should start that, considering it's such a hard times to find deputies, especially ones that are already well seasoned here. I'd hate to take from them, I guess, the $5 or whatever would be from them to go home. Probably be a nightmare too for payroll, I'm guessing. So Ron, like I said last time, I would like to make a motion, if you allow it, for them to take the squads maximum 25 miles out of the county line and be able to take them home, I guess, with no restrictions, with no cost to them either.
I would second that.
Okay. We have a motion on the floor to allow the out-of-county deputies to take their squads home with no charge. And we have a second. Any more discussion on this?
Hey, Ron, this is Jason.
Go ahead, Jason.
I think this is important for us to keep up with the time and as a recruiting tool, as a retention tool, and maybe our policies are a little slower to catch up to maybe some of the other counties, but I think that we need to show support for these officers, and I support this as well.
Okay. Mr. Peters.
Yes, sir. Since we already have there's a departmental policy about the 25 miles, I would say I would go along with that and support this motion as it's stated.
Okay. Which one of you is out of the county the farthest?
I think it's
Okay.
23 miles.
23, so,
23.
okay.
Yeah, I don't know who.
Under the wire.
Okay. So I guess, Andy, if this passes, what does that do to our budget? We already have the budget in.
Yeah, if it passes, I mean, the department budget will incur, we've just estimated based on mileage. It's in the, it all depends on how many shifts and that type of thing. But around $40,000, actually probably more once it gets a couple years in, because it'll increase the rotation of the number of cars if we want to keep on the same rotation. So, I mean, the money's not necessarily in the budget this year, so we'll have to
Right.
either amend or they're going to end up going over budget.
So if this gets approved here, does it have to go to admin?
Yeah, the reason we had admin involved is because it's in our personnel manual, which generally the admin committee oversees, that has the language in it that it has the residency requirement for the deputies to live within 25 miles, but it specifies that the squad has to be left at the county line. So the manual needs to be amended to allow that. So that's why we had admin, which would also have to go to the county board.
Okay. I was just wondering why it would have to go to admin, but thank you for explaining that.
Does it have to go to finance?
What's that?
Does it have to go to finance?
Well, that would be up to admin, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to affect the budget, but it wouldn't necessarily have to go to finance. And I guess the other aspect of it, why we had admin involved, is because if we have one other department, the highway department, that has take-home vehicles or assigned vehicles to employees, and I believe the discussion would be if you want to include the highway department at some point as well. The manual right now or any of our policies is silent on the highway department. It doesn't specify specifically like it does the sheriff's department that take-home squads can't leave the county.
Go ahead, Stacy.
You addressed that last month. You did address that last month, and so technically the highway department could take home their vehicles because it was just a silent agreement.
Yeah, the language in our manual about commuting says for I don't have it in front of me, but it's vague. It says that the county administrator and the department head can allow an employee to take home a county vehicle should it benefit the county or their work or their projects. Doesn't say inside or outside the county, but because of this issue and obviously the conversation, I asked the highway guys that have vehicles to wait till we could discuss this, and I think we should clean it up if we're going to allow them to go outside the county to either include or not include the highway department.
Thank you. And I'd also just request that you ask the judge his professional opinion on the subject.
Judge?
Microphone.
I know that Judge Isham and I are both in support of what Ms. Hessel has suggested in the motion. That has been put on the table, obviously. What Mr. Weaver said, we agree with that in recruiting and retention. These individuals put their lives on the line to protect the public and in all facets of their career. And it's such a small perk. I don't even know if you'd call it a perk, but if it's a financial impact, I suppose it is a perk, but it's something I would rather have a small financial impact to the county than to struggle even more to find good qualified individuals to fill these positions. So, okay. We're in support of it.
All right, thank you. So we have a motion and a second on the floor to approve the county deputies taking their squads home with no stipulation. Any more discussion?
Mr. Chair,
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to make sure the stipulation in the motion is 25 miles.
Right.
Just to make sure that's
Right.
That's correct.
Okay, you don't
And-
have more to say? Go ahead.
And can we have this brought up to the full board instead of just the admin?
It'll have to go to the full board.
It will have to.
It'll go to admin and then from admin we'll go to the full county board.
But can the admin not approve this, I guess? And then it wouldn't go to the full board?
Well, yeah, they can not approve it.
And then it wouldn't go to the full board?
No.
So,
but now you're having me go to county board policy. Yeah, I mean, you can't, a supervisor, I think a couple supervisors can bring an item directly to the board if they so wish. There's a mechanism in our board policy to allow that.
okay, if there is, I'd much rather go to the full board, I think, than just the admin committee, I guess. So if we're able to do so, I'd like it to go to the full board, I guess.
Yeah, because it'll be set up to go to the admin. Meeting
Next week, Thursday.
next Thursday, so. All right, any more discussion?
I don't know how to put my hand up on this thing, but like I keep breaking in on you guys. Marshall, if you need one of those, another supervisor to go along with you to make sure it gets on the board, I'll do that with you.
This is no place to discuss that.
Sorry.
Okay. Lynn, you want us to use the remotes? Oh, you have it. All right. Yeah, we'll do the roll call.
Okay, please see if I have this correct. Let me go back and find it. A motion was made by Mr. Savitsky to allow the out-of-county deputies to take squads home within 25 miles with no charge. Is that correct? Okay. So, Mr. Savitsky,
Yes.
Mr. Weaver,
Yes.
Mr. Helwig,
Yes.
Mr. Peters,
Yes. Mr.
Buckholz,
Yes.
you have a full quorum.
So now it'll go on to admin.
It's already on the admin agenda for next week.
Okay, I haven't looked at it yet, so. I guess, I know you explained it to me why it's gotta go to admin. Why
Because
from here, it can't just go to the full board.
I mean, this committee can make a motion, to send it to the full board. The reason for the admin committee involvement is it's a personnel policy.
Okay, yeah, that's right. So, yeah, I'm okay with going to the admin with it. Are you? No, you're not, are you?
Well, I just think that the full board would want to hear it, I guess.
It's also on the Public Works agenda for the highway vehicles.
For the highway?
Yep.
Yeah, cause ain't the new superintendent, he's from Ladysmith, ain't he?
Yeah, just north of Ladysmith.
Just north of Ladysmith? So he would be able to take his home to it then, okay. All right. It passes, the out-of-county deputies may take their squads home. And again, I thank you guys for what you do for Sawyer County, and be safe out there. Thank you. You bet. All right, number 12. Emergency management.
Thank you. Emergency management and the communication center have been busy planning for the 50th anniversary for the Birkebeiner. Dispatchers have been taking part in tabletops along with supporting agencies and other emergency managers in the area. The grant closeout for the fiscal year of 2023 for EPCRA and EMPG has occurred through December. It ends in January, and the application for 2024 has been submitted. Along with the Wisconsin Disaster Fund application has been finally submitted for the winter ice storm of 2022 with the assistance of Public Health and Sawyer County Highway Department. Recently, right before Christmas, one of our full-time dispatchers dropped down to part-time as she's now pursuing her education at the National Park Service Academy in Washington State. We have 2 dispatchers, one who just finished her training and has started on regular part-time, another one who will be finishing up his training middle of January with a couple more shadows to take place in the near future. And as Lieutenant mentioned, our call volume has dropped down slightly from this time last year. Thank you.
Okay, any questions? Anybody have any questions for Deputy Rapinski?
No.
No. Nope.
Okay, thank you. All right, number 13. Child Support Department report.
Hi, good morning. I filed a written report and I don't have anything new to add to that. So if there's any questions.
Any questions?
Nope.
No.
All right.
Thank you for your report.
Thank you for your report, right? Okay.
I have no questions. Thank you for attending.
Number 14, Emergency Services.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. Sorry if I lose my voice. I'm just getting over some type of bug, so I'll try to keep up here. As you can see, I broke down the calls like you guys were wanting to. We are still higher on our call volume than what last year was, but we are decreasing. You can see our numbers have actually gone down as far as 911 calls and runs. The breakdown, as you can see, by township. We finished the EMR course in the Hayward High School. We had 8 graduates that are ready to go take the National Registry Cognitive Test. And once Leah gets their National Registry number to them, they'll be able to see if they can get their EMR license, and hopefully we can get some young people interested in EMS. We've been gearing up for the Berkey. Been meeting with Les Luter, who is the Berkey Med Chief. We're gonna have, right now it looks like we're gonna have 1 truck for the pre-Berkey and 2 trucks for the Berkey. Other than that, we do have a lot of mandatory training that's going on. We are training with our billing company. Starting tomorrow, we have a mandatory billing and report writing training through LifeQuest. And that is going to be a virtual training, so we should be able to get a good chunk of our staff on to at least listen and participate in that training. Other than that, we are also going to be doing a reportable events put on by the Health and Human Services coming in February, so I'll be putting some things together on that. Just like everything else, this year everybody's upgrading. So you can see that the state of Wisconsin has to upgrade their system for their NIMS reporting to 3.5. We thought this was gonna have some issues with our billing company and the reporting, but getting with Nicole and our billing company, everything was ready for the update. So we went ahead and updated our reporting software to the 3.5 version, and so far there's had very little to no issues. On the medical examiner side, you can see I kind of broke down like the year to date of what basically our major causes of death, both natural and unnatural. So you can, if you guys want, you can look at those and see how the county residents, you know, the deceased that we've been dealing with, and the investigations that we're doing. Other than that, if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Any questions?
I have one question. This is Ed Peters. I'm questioning, I just noticed this, I think in the last two reports that the unincorporated location of Loretta is appearing on here. That's within Draper. I don't understand why it needs to be there.
Well, I can take that out. It pops up when I run reports. Like it'll say Township of Loretta. So
There's no Township of Loretta.
but yeah, it's in my reporting software. It's probably been there for a while, and I can take that out.
Okay,
Yeah.
Seems like a duplication.
Yeah. Like I said, it comes up when I run my reports, and I just didn't take it out, and I'll take it out for the next time.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any more questions?
No, sir.
All right. Number B. John?
Nope.
No.
So as you can see that it's through November, you know, that we have reported so far that I've used 70% of the budget that was set aside for the ambulance service. I'm gonna be seeing what during this training, because these numbers come between Mike and our LifeQuest, and I'm gonna see if I can get a little more information on these breakdowns, so I can have more information for you guys.
Okay. All right, any questions for him? All right, thanks,
Nope.
John. Number 15, Criminal Justice Coordinating Council update.
Yeah, you heard the update from the judge, Judge Jackal, that the recovery court is going to be up and running. They've had referrals, so they're starting their official recovery court activities. The TAD grant has been submitted. I don't believe we've heard back on approval at this point. And then the Sheriff's Department has done some training already under the law enforcement deflection grant that was received. So those are kind of the key items right now working under the Criminal Justice Council.
All right,
Maybe-
any questions?
Do you have any other thing you want to share?
I don't know how this works. I would just add all of that is right. And as far as the recovery court, we have a run through on Friday we're going to be doing, and also make referrals. We need those. But otherwise, yeah, that's pretty much the update. I think also as far as I don't know what all was in Judge Jackal's report, but I think that as far as if we jump back to that quickly, court operations, the court processing as far as all of the cases, I think we're doing a really good job. We're getting through cases a lot faster. It's probably one of the reasons for the lower jail numbers. And I just also wanted to say that I keep having to run out, but I was listening to all the officers, and I think you all did a really great job. And I just wanted to say that we all support you, and well done. but otherwise, no, thank you.
Thank you for coming today, Judge.
Thank you.
All right, any more questions?
No, sir.
I'm good.
All right, number 16, future agenda items. Anything you guys want on the agenda for next month? No? All right, correspondence, reports from conferences and meetings. Okay, if not, no more business. I want to thank everybody for being here today. Appreciate it. It was a good meeting. We are adjourned.